Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Hey, it's your favorite uncle. How you feeling, fam? How you doing? It's Friday. So, what you up to, fam? You know what? I was talking about I stopped collecting, man. I've been stopped for a while now, man. You know, I haven't bought off of eBay, whatnot, Amazon, um, Facebook Marketplace. Shit. Stores, I stopped. You know, the thing is, man, you can stop as long as you want to. You can stop, for a day or two. It's up to you, man. People can't tell you what you doing. Shit. People always trying to tell you, see, that defeats the purpose because you got a problem. I ain't got no damn problem. You got the problem. When people see you spend your money, they get so damn mad. People call you broke. They call you poor. Shit. Dude, it is what it is. I can't even call it for what it is. Shit, I believe if you ain't got 100 stacks, you poor. I believe middle class is just about gone. I believe working from home is a scam. People out here working from home thinking they doing something, bro. In some cases you winning, in some cases you not. Think about it. You usually have an 8-hour work day. Usually, yeah. But when you working from home, you have to finish projects and shit. You finishing projects and you end up spending 10 hours at work instead of 8. Now they don't have a physical location no more, and you sitting there thinking to yourself like, damn, they ain't even helping pay your internet. And if your internet go out, your ass get rolled up most of the time, man. It's crazy as hell. You don't even have a work-life balance. Your job is at your house now. Dude, you can't even leave your damn job. It's in the same house with you. Oh, no, I just lock it in that room and that's it. No, that motherfucker in your house. You have more meetings and more other type of shit going on. Man, they crazy as hell. You miss me with that one. But fam, I'm going to tell you something. Rainy days, bro, they don't last forever. Sometimes when you going through stuff, thing is, a lot of people don't know what you're going through. And, they speculate. And shit is so far off the mark that you sit back and have to ask yourself, I wonder what people think. And it's just like sometimes people want the worst for you. People wishing ill on you. People wishing bad on you because they cannot stand you. People want you to be in a bad position, man. And you know what? You do exactly what you're supposed to do. Keep winning, bro. People can't stand to see you win. And you know what? I love to see people win because, I've been noticing a lot of you all been winning, man, and that's a good thing, man. People been telling me, hey, man, I've been going through something, stuff is kind of, iffy right now, but, I'm working on what I need to work on. And you know what? That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing because it ain't gonna always be the way you want it. That's how life works. Man, life works on a way that you sit back and be like, man, I want to do this and I want to do that. Dude, I told you about saving and things like that, and people was like, no, man, see, you telling people all the wrong advice. Debt should be paid off first, and after that, you buckle down for 5 years and pay off your debt. Dude, you crazy as hell. You might only live for them damn 5 years. You done lived your life paying off debt. You crazy. I'm not telling you to stay in debt for the rest of your life, but I'm telling you also got to live your life because you got to think about it, man. After a while, you get tired. And I've been telling people that for the longest. People sit back and make it seem like when I tell them, like, maybe we should start a petition and, take it to, shit to the people and tell them what we want, man. People can't give you anything because you don't want anything. You're not saying anything. If you don't say shit, guess what? Ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm from the old school. You got to put the work in. You can't just sit there and think somebody gonna read your mind. They should know what I want. No, they don't. And they don't have to. Get your ass up and get out there. I was telling people to work more than one job. Shit, I work more than one job. People say, that's all you do is sit in that chair. Bro, I don't sit in this chair all day. Shit, that'd be kind of nice if I actually did. But when I get here, I usually do videos, man. And like I said, sometimes, we have a lot to talk about and sometimes we don't have nothing to talk about. Man, do I got some stuff to show y'all? Yeah. I show it on another video, man. I had got an early Father's Day gift, man, which I thought was pretty cool, man. I don't know if you be into it, but, I showed it in another video, man. But like I said, man, I've been doing the stuff that I need to do, man, to, wind this debt down. It's going down, basically gone. But you know what? There's so much of shit dropping. Right now. Like I said, that Marvel uh, Gameverse stuff. Dude, Juggernaut, Omega Red, Psylocke, Thanos, uh, Wolverine. What is that? Silver Samurai, dude. And the big Shamagola guy. You got the Juggernaut. He's bigger than the Juggernaut I got. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. This is what pushes, the community. I was having, just, not a lot of luck out there when I was actually searching. And like I said, that shit run gas at you, Kai. People don't understand gas is expensive here. Gas is $4 and something to fill up a tank, bro. You sitting there thinking gas like $2 here, but the national average is $3. Hell, this ain't the national average here, bro. They talking about going up on the toll roads here, 50 damn cent. Toll roads already expensive as shit. The Skyway is expensive as hell going into Indiana, and you sitting here thinking, y'all playing with me. You paying like 15 damn dollars to get into Indiana, and you'd be like, this shit should be for free. I'm like, bro, they doing way too damn much, and I think a lot of people ain't getting that, man. You know what? It's just what it is, man. Then I'm looking at those Thundercats and Motu, and I'm, trying to figure when that's going to drop. The pre-orders are up, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I don't want to see a pre-order. I want to see if I can find it in the store if I actually, try to get it. Because, I'm a fan of the line, though, man. You know what? There's so many toy lines that I would love to see. I want to see Tiger Sharks from Super 7, if they ever thought about bringing it out. Mako and Dolph and all of them, man. That's cool as hell, man. There's Marvel Legend figures that I would love to see, man, but we don't have. I want a Rachel Gray, her in the Hound uniform with the Phoenix effect behind the dude. That's one I want, man. There's so many figures that I would love to see. There's so many things that I would love to do right about now, man. I'm in the process. I got some other stuff in the fire, man. Dude, like I said, I'm trying my best, but, sometimes you got to sit back and refocus sometimes. Sometimes you got to, sit back and think about it and be like, if this don't happen, then I need to go over here and do this. And this is what I'm telling people. A closed mouth don't get fed. So my thing is open your mouth and see what it is that you can do out here, man. There's so many things, man. I was looking, people are finding those Voltron, lions that I have, and they finding them on clearance. I said, shit, if I could find them on clearance, I'd buy a whole set of them just to have the lions next to the actual Voltron. Dude, I'm looking at every damn thing. There's so many damn figures that I want to pick up. Ross has been dry lately. Ollie's just about the same. I went to Ollie's in Indiana because we had to go to Indiana to visit some people, and we went to Ross, checked them out in Wisconsin, but there was nothing there. Dude, like I tell you, but we were visiting people in Wisconsin, so I think this was the past long weekend, so, did a few things. Was going to go to Iowa, but yeah, that's a little rad. My thing is, man, also, people are asking me to move from Chicago. Well, basically telling me, man, you should move out of Chicago. Chicago too expensive. Move into the suburbs. Suburbs are expensive as hell. They're not cheaper, bro. Someone told me to move to Iowa. I thought about it. I looked at Iowa, but the cost of living in Iowa is not comparable here. You get what I'm saying? If you used to making a certain amount, and I was looking at the rent prices, shit, they're about the same. And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to pay that? Just sitting here thinking. But in certain parts of Iowa, they have cheap rent. I ain't gonna lie, they do. Certain parts of Illinois, they have cheap rent, bruh, but ain't nowhere where I can live, so no. Illinois shit. Illinois is a long state. You could ride for 6 hours and still be in Illinois, bro. That's how long Illinois is, bro. You be sitting there thinking, bro. You be like, Brody, we still here, Brody. We still in Illinois. Like, we've been riding for 15 years, shit. Man, please. There's so many action figures, man, that's popping off. Even Funko Pop's popping off right now. Dude, there's so many model kits and every damn thing out there, man. You know, people fan this shit everywhere, bro. And I'm like, man, ain't none of that here, man. I'm like, I'm talking to some of the collectors that's around me. And, you know, they told me, man, I hit up this Ross, I hit up that Ross. You know, man, if I find something, I'll let you know, that, you know, they have it here. So, man, we doing this, we doing that. We doing a whole lot of stuff, man. So, you know, a lot of people reaching out to me. We coordinating, trying to find some stuff, man, because, you know, I was getting frustrated. Your uncle was getting frustrated. You know, your uncle had to pay some bills off first before he did any damn thing. I had to pay that shit off. I paid that shit off, and I'm sitting there like, still owe a little more, because I paid a lot of that off. I was like, man, it's hard to sit there and you be like, man, come on. But you still got disposable income. People be like, man, I don't understand how people got debt, and, you know, I go ahead and pay the debt off. You know, and I'm listening to people telling me they rushing to pay off other debt, but you ain't rushing to pay your house off. I don't get it. Ain't it the same debt? You know, no, but see, you benefit from the house. Yes and no. House has a lot of cons as well as pros, too. So, you know, you got to look at that. Man, I'm talking about everything right about now because, shit, that's what's making me happy right about now. I got that nice Omega Red up there. I got a Psylocke up there. Got Wolverine, the Juggernaut. Thanos. Dude, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, what do those new figures look like, man? Those new Gameverse figures. I seen all those pics that people were sending me of those Spider-Man Gameverse ones that they found at Target and Walmart. You know, it's like 4 of them, and I'm like, damn, I ain't no lie. I would love that to have a little Spider-Man collection. I got a little Iron Man collection. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got like 8 Iron Mans up here, man. And, you know, to be honest, Iron Man is a, you know, kind of fairly easy figure to get, you know, because they put an Iron Man in every lot. An Iron Man and a Wolverine just about, you know. See, it's like in every line that they, you know, every wave they bring out, they usually have an Iron Man, a Wolverine, or a Captain America. Brody. I would love to see the Phoenix, though, from Gameverse. Dude, there's so many things. I seen all those new DC figures that were dropping, man. And I was like, the orange Batman, the purple Batman. I'm like, the pink Batman, the Target Batman. You know, the Target Batman been out. The Bullseye Reza Batman been out for a while. But, dude, it's just all so cool, man. You just looking at all of this stuff. All these new figures that you like, man, this is what's up here. Dude, even if you can't find some of the stuff in the store, man, it's still fun seeing people picking it up. I love watching the toy tubers find stuff, man, whether they pick it up or not. Maybe it's something that they don't need, and I understand, man. Sometimes you don't need the stuff. Sometimes you may not be into it, and, you know, it's fun to show it. And, man, look forward to me getting into different toy lines, bro. I have a whole slew of toy lines that I haven't put up yet, you know, but the space for the place, dude, that me and my wife looked at, man, we did look at a place, and it was nice. The basement was nice. You know, the next one we go through, I'm going to show you the actual walkthrough. So while I'm doing the walkthrough, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to do the video showing you what it looked like, man, because the place, man, my wife said, man, your man cave will look good down here. She said, I said, but man, there's bedrooms down here. And she said, then use the bedrooms too. I'm like, damn, okay. That fucker was nice. It was big. I said, damn, she said, you could put like 5 pool tables down here and like 6 beds all in just this one area. She said, man, I could see where you had a couch at, the big screen TV. You know, she was just She was, man, the guy was looking at her like, damn, had him thinking like, damn, like, man, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you was just sitting there. It had me thinking about my little storage unit because back when I had my storage unit, I had a projection screen TV. I had a 60-inch projection Panasonic TV, man. I remember when I first got that damn thing. I put it in the layaway at Circuit City. And like a month later, I got it out. That damn TV was expensive as hell. But man, I wanted it, got it, you know. End up having to leave the house that I was in. Man, I had it in a storage unit, and I had a bright ass idea. I went and got one of those lit solar powered units where you can plug stuff up. Man, I took it outside for a while around the house. Then I took it there, man, and I was working my ass off on it. I was in there playing the game. I had the damn thing halfway down, and I was in there just playing the game. And they said, "Sir, you can't be living in here." I said, "I don't live in here." I said, "I'm playing the game in here." I said, "Hell, this is my man cave." And she was laughing her ass off. Then she brung the manager over there, and he was like, "Man, could I get a key?" I said, "Hell no." Like, fucking, we ain't doing that. This is my shit. I'm in here doing this. He was like, "Man, can I get one of the controllers, man?" We was in there laughing, playing. I had drinks in that motherfucking everything. I don't drink liquor, but I had pop and every damn thing else, man. You know, energy drinks, man. The shit was fun as hell. Because my guys was in there too. They were like, "Man, like, this is some straight up shit." He was like, "Dude, you the only one that I know that'll do this, Brody." He said, "Man, you fan away." I said, "Man, I needed somewhere to be just to relax for a while because the storage unit was right across the street from my damn house." Man, look, sometimes storage can be the greatest thing that happened to you, bro. I remember one unit I had a long time ago, right? I had clothes in it. It was a big ass closet, right? I was in there picking out shit to wear, right? You know, taking it with me. The lady looking like, damn, like, what is going on here? She said, "You got a whole closet in here." I said, "That's what I'm using it as," right? You know, it was an indoor unit, and it was like heated, temperature control, basically. And man, she was just like, damn. She said, "Man, you make me want to do a unit." But I had an issue at one point in time because somebody almost got over on me. When I closed one of the units out, they kept it open. And I had to call up there. I'm like, "Why is this unit still open?" I said, "I paid up, the last, time of, this unit." And I said, "I pulled everything out." They were like, "Oh, we going to close it." Took like 2 weeks. I had to call the headquarters because I think they were trying to actually keep that fuck open. Somebody else was going to use it, and they thought I was going to be paying for it. You lost your damn mind. Bro, come on, Brody. Shit. Those are good old days, bro. But, man, I want to walk you through a lot of shit, man, because there's a lot of stuff happening. And, this is one of the things that I just want to sit back and, go through with y'all because there's so much stuff right now that's jumping off. Man, good and bad, man. Like I said, storms don't last forever, just like somebody commented in the comment section. Storms, don't last forever. Sometimes either you go through the storm or you turn back. And dude, I went through the damn storm. And I'm getting to the other side, Dude, there's so much I would love to say here, but I just can't say it. But like I said, you keep your head up and you keep moving, man. But sometimes you just need to have some of those days on some videos, and I'm pretty sure everybody related to it because shit is real out here. Like I said, them toll roads went up 50 damn cents. They're about to go up 50 cents. I'm like, with all the rest of this shit going up, and they was like, yeah, and if you sell a property, it's a fee for selling a property now. It was a fee before, but it's another fee. I'm like, the hell? Like, we gotta fix this budget deficit we got. And I'm sitting here like, but you know what? Stacking the paper helped. Am I still gonna do the whatnot thing? Yes. I was sitting here, thinking how to do it. I was gonna put it under Uncle Tim, Rants and Reviews. You'd be able to find me on Whatnot under that. So my thing is I'm trying to see what I'm going to do. My wife was like, some of the pieces that you want, you can sell on there. That'd be cool if, you really don't want to put them up. She said, because you got a lot of stuff She said, you just don't got no room. And she said, man, that place that we were looking at, man, it was just amazing. She said, your man cave, she said, you would just have all type of shit set up in here. That's what I'm talking about, man. And I'm just sitting there listening, just like, man. See, that's the issue. You know, that's the type of person you want to have in your corner. Somebody building you up, hyping you up, getting you there, getting you ready. You know, telling you shit. You know, that's what's up with me, man. But till later, peace out.